So we're jumping in today. It's going to be a pretty awesome Real Talk with Fusion because Kiersten McCoy is here, also known as Fierce Kiers, and then McKenna has also joined us. Now, McKenna, how do you pronounce your last name appropriately?
Simmons?
Really?
I just feel like
said my last
I want to
name
do it justice.
times.
Simmons, McKenna Simmons is also here, and then as always,
It was hard.
Yeah, that
Sarah
was really
Dukes and myself. And so we wanted to kind of, a lot of you have just graduated high school this past week. It is Chapin and Spring Hill, and everyone in the Chapin area has graduated. And so these guys graduated a year ago and have spent a full... I'm sorry.
I graduated 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I graduated last year.
Yeah, okay. They're a mixed bag. But... So they spent some time at college now, and what we want to do is kind of figure out what does it look like, where does God play a role, and realistically speaking, like what should these guys expect? And maybe somebody's watching and they're in middle school and they're already thinking about college because you know how that works. Like you're in school and you don't want to be in school and you long for the day when you're in college. Like what can we look forward to? How should we prep ourselves? Like all those kinds of things. So let's start by you guys sharing what year you're going into, and also what major or track or career field you're thinking about right now. So who wants to go first?
Well, you're looking at me. So.
Yes, cheers.
So I'm going to go first. I am a rising junior at Winthrop University, and I'm majoring in English education.
She's going to work with me.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
My goal in life is to have adjoining classrooms with Sarah Duke.
That's our goal.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So going in to be an educator to teach Spanish. I love it. This is going to be so good.
Right.
Yeah.
English is a major. Did you know that? English is an actual major you can do. I'm talking to them, not you, because you're doing it.
That's what mine is.
Yeah.
That was my
I didn't
major.
know that was a real thing. It
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
My
But
degree's in English only.
My degree also will be in English.
which is really good for reading or teaching English. So those are your options.
Writing
which is
as
great.
well.
though.
Basically, that
Writing,
is true.
yes, writing is good.
Basically, that is true.
And then McKenna, what are you thinking about, and what year are you going into?
I'm a rising sophomore, and I currently just attended USC. I'm gonna major in psychology and hopefully become a holistic psychologist.
Ooh,
Yes.
so intense.
What
It
does
is
that
a
mean?
mouthful. Well, basically,
For the viewers at home, I don't know what holistic
those of you
means.
watching. So basically, instead of like someone coming in and like telling me, oh, like how do you feel? That's cool. It's like I would talk to them about like where they are mentally, physically, and spiritually, and see how like all of those play together and
Holistic.
work on all of
Caring
it.
for the whole person.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Now let me ask you, did you have this all mapped out before you got to college? Like, did you know from a young age what you wanted to do when you grew up?
When I was little, I wanted to be a professional cow rider. And my
I want that to still be your thing.
My mom crushed my dream and told me that she was
Nat.
not getting me cow riding lessons, that it
Man.
wasn't a thing.
It sounds expensive.
She was like, there's no such thing as cow riding lessons. And I was like, well, there's horseback riding lessons and there's cows everywhere. So why, like, what? I had my dream cow picked out.
Yeah.
Like, I drew pictures
Did
of
it have a
it.
name? What was the name?
It didn't have a name,
Oh.
no. But it was like my dream cow. Like,
That
people-
was the name.
People have their dream cars. No, I had a dream cow. So, yeah, that changed over time. Probably I think my junior year of high school was when I decided that I wanted to go into teaching.
Thinking about your education career, that seems late in the game. Like, Sarah, when do you see people start to kind of decide? I imagine in middle school this conversation started happening with guidance counselors and parents saying, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like,
Yeah.
there's so much pressure.
In middle school, we definitely, they do an assessment that kind of tells them, like, these are the things according to this assessment. Like, they answer a bunch of questions. And based on your interests and whatever, these are some things that you would be good at or might want to look at as far as career goes. So yeah, you have those conversations pretty early on. Like definitely in 8th grade, you're having those conversations with your guidance counselor. And then high school, you're kind of like on a track or like in a,
Right.
what do you call them? I don't even know what to call them. But
A path.
But for me, I was an adult, like a grown person. Like I already had my college degree and still didn't know what I was going to do. So, you know.
McKenna, what about for you? When
got
did you
that.
know holistic is the way you wanted to go?
Well, I've known since like sophomore year of high school that psychology was pretty much like the way I want to go. Like I want to be a psychologist. And then as like I've kind of like learned about the field and like the things that I like and the things that I don't like about it, it wasn't until like maybe like junior year that I was like, yeah, holistic psychology, like senior year-ish.
So how would you encourage someone who's feeling a lot of pressure? They're maybe 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, even juniors in high school, seniors, going to be next year's seniors. How would you encourage them if they feel like, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do?
That's totally normal.
Yeah, that's okay.
Like, I feel like, for me especially, like, I'm in the minority knowing. Like,
really?
I feel like
Okay.
I knew
Yeah.
very early.
Junior year was very early. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like most people wait until, like, they finish their freshman year of college, and then they either do a change of major or some sort of shift, and
Okay.
you're fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I feel
okay,
like there's like juniors in high school going like, oh crap, I don't know. But no, you're not.
Well, there's so much pressure to pick your school, to
Right.
get your applications, to do your scholarship applications, and all these things. And there's an incredible. I felt it when I was growing up. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like there's a difference in those two. Like, I would like to
Do a lot of
design
things.
video games. That'd be fun. I was like, but I don't feel like that's going to be where I should go. So that ended up not working out. But I think we all have that struggle. McKenna, is there anything specifically you would try to encourage people in, or a way of thought maybe to look at this idea of figuring out what you're going to do in college?
Well, I used to be really stressed about it. Like, I was the little middle schooler that you would talk about, like, the little 4th grader, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like 12 years old, my life is moving so fast, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, what are you doing? And so I had to, like, kind of sit down and figure out what I'm passionate about and the things that I like, the things that I don't like. I liked dance, and I thought I would be a dance teacher, and I was like, just kidding, I'm not gonna do that. And but I realized, the main thing that I really liked every single day was helping people. And so I realized that's, like, kind of something that's going to be very consistent in my life and something that I want to do. But it's totally normal to not know what you want to do. A lot of my friends now, they're majoring in, like, English and stuff like that. They're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this.
I live that life. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, according to the website of my mom,
This is a good source.
yes.
Just so you know.
It's
love
like
it. It is
70
fun.
or like 80% of people change their major at least once during their college
Or
career.
3 times. It's
Yeah. Apparently, like, it's super normal, and a lot of people don't know what they want to do, so it's okay.
Okay.
Just take a deep breath, figure out what you like, what you don't like.
And it'll all work out.
Yes.
Do you feel like things have just worked out? Like, you had an idea, you had a vision going in, and now everything's kind of just unfolded, and it feels like it's supposed to be happening this way.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's been really. Oh, would you like
No,
to
either one of you
I
can
was just
speak.
saying yes.
Good. Agreement.
Yeah.
So we all have expectations of what college is going to look like when we get there. What our freshman year is going to feel like, whether it be crazy or really hard workload or sleeping in all day or being super stressed, whatever. Did you feel like your expectations going into your freshman year were appropriate, or was it harder, was it easier? Like, how did you feel like that transition went for you?
It's so much easier than I thought it was going to be.
What? You can't
Yeah.
say that. Parents don't want to hear that.
I'm sorry, but yeah, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I think in terms of, I was so used to the high school structure of you go from, what is it, like 8:25 to 3:45, and you're going. You have an hour for lunch, but like you're in school that whole time. And so then getting to college, and it's like I go to class for an hour, and then I have 3 hours to myself, and then I go to class for an hour and a half, and then I have another hour, and it's like you feel a lot more in control of your own time. Like you can choose, you have a lot more choices of like, how do I want to spend this free time? Do I want to do my homework now so I can hang out with my friends later, or do I want to hang out with my friends now and I'll do my homework later? Which is, I think, where some people probably get in trouble.
yeah.
But I liked it. Especially because I, especially my senior year, just overcommitted myself and did so many things.
I remember this. We would try to get Kiersten to do things, and she could never do anything. She was always busy with either work or class or some other kind of extracurricular.
Yeah.
She was never free.
That was not good. Like I was way too busy, and I didn't realize how busy I was until I got to college, and I was like, a whole hour to myself? Like, what is this? And yeah, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
What about you, McKenna? How are your expectations met?
I thought it was harder.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely going to a party school like USC, the party scene's like very, very big. So that was something that I had like trouble navigating for a little bit. And then like you said, like time management was also very, very different. It was difficult for me. But yes, the first like semester that I had of college, thank you COVID, it was interesting. It was easier at first, but then like it got harder, you know, like maintaining relationships with my family. And I mean, my sisters are younger than me, and so I couldn't call them every day. One of them doesn't have a phone because she's too young, so that was just like difficult for me, but it's been nice being back home.
Did you find missing your family more than you thought you would?
Yeah, for sure. Well, for me, it was difficult because I did miss them a lot, but also I felt like if I talked to them, then I would like get distracted with that and get homesick and not focus on like where I needed to be or where I thought I needed to be. So it was definitely like a struggle for that, but call your parents, talk to your parents,
It is okay.
talk to your family.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assumed you missed your family because your dad is Ben McCoy, and so I miss him now, and I'm not even family. So I assume that's how you felt.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean, but like I was ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I was ready to go.
I didn't miss my family.
Yeah,
when I went to
my
college.
freshman year, I'm sorry, but
okay.
I didn't. My sophomore year, I missed home a lot, so much so that I moved home. but yeah, my freshman year, I kind of did the same thing as McKenna. Like I wouldn't call home because I was like, home is home, school is school, and then that kind of was tricky because my parents also wouldn't call me because they didn't want to be like breathing down my neck while I was at college. So then I was like, my parents don't love me. They're glad that I moved out. They never call me. And then they were like, Kiersten doesn't love us. She never calls us. And so then we had a conversation about that we do actually love each other. We just
good.
were not
Therapy
clear.
they
We were
needed.
not clear about the expectations of who was calling who.
So maybe a thing to sort out before you go.
Yeah.
Talk to your
How
parents
often?
about when you should call them.
Yeah, because like you love them and you're gonna miss them, but then you're also gonna have so many other things happening that you're gonna get distracted and you're gonna make new friends.
Right.
That sometimes you just forget to call.
So let's do this. Let's wrap it up this way. You guys both came through Fusion, our student ministry, and you've been involved in CUMC for years and years and years. What kind of role did your faith and your relationship with God play into how you assimilated or transferred into college? Is it important? Let's just ask it straight out. Is your relationship with God important as you leave high school, leave our church, and go off into college? And how so? Who wants to go first?
Okay.
Oh.
He always asks who wants to go
you.
first, and he's like, who wants
No,
to
well, I looked at McKenna on purpose, and she looked at you. That's not my fault.
I thought
I
it
had
was supposed to be
nothing.
like a domino
Yeah, like,
thing.
pass
like
it on,
like
yes.
a discreet,
Sarah?
Yeah, it's definitely important. I've been a part of Chapin I Methodist since I can remember, and so that's obviously very important for me. One thing I was fearful of was not only stepping into a church where I didn't know anyone, but stepping into a church where I didn't know everyone. Like I feel very at home here. Like I know all different ages of people, like the kids to the old people.
More experienced people.
Right. And so that was scary for me, like walking into a church, and depending on the church, like sometimes no one would speak to me. And so that was interesting to navigate. And then also in terms of community, like at school, I feel like your relationship with God is important in finding good friends, and good friends that are going to encourage you and support you and be there for you to lift you up in the ways that you needed to be. So one of my experiences was I was really close with my roommate, and then in February she joined a sorority and started doing things with that group and was busy all the time, and I realized, I don't have any friends. Like I was only hanging out with her.
Yeah.
And then this girl that I like barely knew in one of my classes was talking about a campus ministry called RUF, and she was like, hey, like, you should come. And I was like, this is so weird. I'm being invited to a youth thing where I was like, is this what people feel like when I ask them to come to Fusion? Like, it was so strange. And so I went, and it ended up being really good, and I met some of my best friends there.
Awesome. Oh, that's happy. I love to hear that.
What about you, McKenna?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, like, Fusion has really helped me, especially, like, the small group atmosphere. If you are not in a small group, like, if you're, middle school, early high school, get in a small group, and if you're leaving high school, find a small group, find a church. That's one thing that I've been really grateful for, is that we do have a very, very good church. Like you said, like, whenever you walk in, it feels like you're coming back home. And so whenever you're going out and finding churches, that's, like, a really big, important thing to do, is remember the foundations and the things that you like about this church, and see, like, where that aligns elsewhere, and, really digging deep into churches and really trying to find what they stand for. And that's been something I'm very grateful about here, is, like, learning how to look at the churches that I agree with and the ones that just aren't for me. So, yes, and get in a small group.
Yes. So small groups are crucial, and right now, because of the situation we're in with COVID and everything, we're doing them through Zoom, which can be challenging, but we encourage you to jump in. If you want to get involved, just send us a direct message, and we'll connect you with that. If you've got questions for these guys, send us a direct message, and I would love to send them forward. And they are more than happy to chat. They love to share their experiences about what college was like, especially with those of you who are getting ready to go into college. So please reach out. They're more than ready and happy to connect with you. But I just want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Sarah, for being here as always. Sarah makes it all happen. We all know that that's true. Bye.
Have a great day.